Greetings, peace be with you. So, in this video, I'm going to explain why emotional men are weak. Okay, now what it really comes down to, first and foremost, is the meaning that we assign to particular words. Because I am part of this book club, and the book of this month was 48 Laws of Power, and it was interesting to observe so many men getting triggered by this, saying that I'm going to burn this book, saying that I'm going to leave this group because we recommended this book, saying that Robert Greene is a psychopath, right? And it's very interesting to observe because there seems to be a repulsion towards power. And that is because we've been conditioned to think that power means corruption, that in the hands of someone who has power, the world just becomes a more corrupt place and the world does not live in accordance with an ideal that they have imagined in their head. Okay. Now, weakness, power, what do these words actually mean? I love the definition of power that Tom Bilyeu from Impact Theory uses, and he says that power is the ability to close your eyes, to visualize a reality in which your goals are being accomplished, and then to open your eyes and then to go ahead and make the decisions that align with that higher ideal. That's really what it comes down to. Power comes from the root word posse, which is Latin, which literally means ability, right? If you are to manifest a reality that you want, if you are to achieve your goals, if you are to have the health, wealth, relationships, and fulfillment that we all want in our lives, power is a necessary stepping stone that allows us to create those results, right? The only thing that we have is the ability to control our thoughts and our behaviors, and power is the ability to do the things that need to get done that align with our goals while letting go of the things that don't. And weakness is when we engage in behaviors that don't serve us, when we engage in activities that move us away from our goals rather than towards our goals. Now, when I say that emotional men are weak, I do not mean that emotions are something that need to be suppressed or repressed or escaped, because I've noticed in my own journey, I have reflected on the journey of so many guys that I've worked with, that escaping emotions or suppressing them or repressing them never works, because eventually they catch up with us, right? When we escape, repress, or suppress, we are actually holding on to them. If we feel the shame and then we go and bust a nut, or we go and escape ourselves in TV, or we go and chase girls because we're shameful and guilty about something, and then we're using that as an escape to get validated, then we're holding on to that emotion, and eventually it will just grow to the point where it'll be addressed face on, where it's so big where it's going to be way more difficult, rather than just experiencing that emotion so that we can actually let it go. Okay, now when I say that emotional men are weak, what I'm saying is that there is a version of you right now that is determined by your thoughts, your behaviors, your experiences, right? Your thoughts, your experiences, your emotions, your behaviors, they all align with who you are right now. And we are on this personal growth journey of spiritual evolution, of becoming more than we are right now, because we know we're capable of more. And when we act in alignment with this vision that we have for ourselves, when we go and do things that we've never done in order to accomplish things that we've never accomplished, in order to have experiences that we've never had, by definition, that is uncomfortable. Okay, understand that the human mind was not designed to make you fulfilled, to make you happy, to make you grow. It was designed to keep you safe. And the reason that I say that emotional men are weak is because when we become victim of our emotions, when we do things that feel good in the moment, when we chase that comfort rather than growth, is when we stay where we are. And when we have a vision of where we can be, but we stay where we are and we behave where we are rather than in alignment with where we want to be, that is the definition of weakness, okay? Because we are not expressing the version of ourselves that aligns with our vision, okay? Power is the ability to create your vision into reality. And weakness is the inability to do that at the end of the day. And the really critical breakthrough is to understand that feelings follow behaviors as much as, if not more than, behaviors follow feelings. Okay, let that sink in. Feelings follow behaviors as much as, if not more than, emotions follow feelings. That means that we can act our way into a new way of thinking because that is easier than thinking your way into a new way of acting. Okay, by its very definition, when you go and expand, it is going to be uncomfortable. But when you go and make that behavior, then you are becoming someone who aligns with that vision. You're becoming someone who chooses growth over comfort. The reason that I say that emotional men are weak is because so many times how we feel right now is in alignment with who we are, but we aspire to be more. If you wouldn't, then this is not the right channel for you, right? This channel is all focused, like central tenet and pillar of all that I do is driven through the question of how can we close the gap between who we are and who we are capable of being consistently on a moment to moment basis, right? That is what we are here for, to self actualize, to become who we are capable of being in the service of something bigger than us, to offer our greatest gifts and greatest service to the world while cultivating them to the highest point. And the reason that I say that emotional men are weak is because when we make decisions in alignment with our emotions, then that becomes our identity. For example, let's say that you're completely out of shape right now, and that is not in alignment with your vision of how you want your body to be, right? According to your own standard, that's what it all comes down to. According to your own standard, your body is not in alignment with it, right? You look in the mirror, you're like, I do not like how I look right now. And then you make the decision, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym. And then you feel the emotion when it comes time to finally go to the gym. You feel the emotion that I don't want to go to the gym because it's uncomfortable, because I would rather watch TV instead, because I would rather go and browse YouTube instead, right? And that is the critical juncture. If you make a decision that is in alignment with how you feel in that moment, because how you feel in that moment is in alignment with who you are in that moment, and who you are in that moment does not align with your higher self. And when you don't make the decision in alignment with your higher self, is when you become a victim of weakness. Okay, understand that. But if you catch yourself in that moment and you don't feel like going to the gym, but you go and to the gym anyway, then that behavior becomes a vote for the person that you are becoming. And by the mere fact of going to the gym, you feel better about yourself anyway. Okay, so it's not about escaping the emotion, repressing the emotion. It's about understanding that how you feel right now is in alignment with who you are right now, and you have a vision for who you can be. So by its very definition, it will feel uncomfortable because your body is designed to keep you safe. But when you make decisions that align with that higher self is when you begin to become more, right? When you realize that you are not who you are, right? You're not a human being, you are a human becoming. You are always in the state of becoming. And when you make the decisions that align with that becoming is when you are in the process of evolving. That is when you become the conscious creator of your reality, because you take life into your own hands. You realize that the power is within you to make a change rather than the circumstances dictating who you are. So important, man. So important, because so many times we define ourselves by our circumstances. But when our circumstances don't align with where we want to be, that is an opportunity for us to reflect on where do we want to go in our lives, right? And once we have a vision for that future, keeping that top of mind and allowing our decisions to align with that vision in the moment, even when we don't feel like it. That is the definition of power, because in that moment where you choose growth over comfort is the moment where you become more, right? Because you do something you've never done. And as a result of that, you experience emotions that you've never felt before. And slowly but surely, eventually that becomes who you are, right? The deepest level of change is identity level change. And we make votes for the person that we are becoming through our behaviors on a moment to moment basis. But when we make the decisions through how we feel in the moment, which could be dictated by circumstances, that is when we become weak. Okay, so I hope you understand that nuance over there, because I know that emotions are signals, right? They're signals, but it's also important to understand that we can change the signal. We have conscious control over that signal. And when we make the decision to step forward into growth rather than backwards into comfort, is the moment where we can let our emotions follow our feelings, emotions follow our behaviors, rather than waiting to feel inspired and then doing it. Okay, that is when you take the power that you have within you to create a reality in reflection of the vision that you intend to bring into fruition. Okay, so I hope that that has been valuable for you and clarifying this, because I know that it's not about just like pushing. Yes, it's important to reflect on how you feel and why you feel that way, but it's also important to reflect on where you want to be and making decisions in alignment with that vision rather than how you feel in the moment, right? So I repeated myself a while over here, so because I really hope that you catch the nuance. But with that, I will conclude this video and leave a comment below letting me know your number one takeaway in this video, so that this is not just another consumption cycle for you, but something that you actually implement into your life. I love communicating with you. I love opening up the discussion. I read each and every single comment within the first 24 hours usually on these videos. Okay, so leave a comment below letting me know your number one takeaway, and subscribe if you have not already. Click the like button if you like it. It really helps the channel grow. And I will leave you in the peace and power of the one infinite creator. And I will catch you in the next one. Much love to you. Take care.